Title insurance real estate exam. Question 1. A property manager is reviewing a mixed-use property in Hagerstown. Which term describes the obligation to put the principal's lawful interests ahead of the agent's competing interests? Option A, loyalty duty. Option B, client. Option C, dual agent. Option D, the agency by ratification. The correct answer is option A, loyalty duty. Secret profits, undisclosed conflicts, and self-dealing violate this responsibility. Full informed consent is required when a permitted conflict exists. The agent may not favor another party because of a better commission opportunity. Question 2. At a marketing review, a Michigan exam candidate encounters the following description: a routine service that does not involve discretion, confidential advice, or advocacy. Which concept is being tested? Option A, fiduciary duty. Option B, ministerial act. Option C, designated agency. Option D, general agent. The correct answer is option B, ministerial act. The licensee must avoid crossing into representation without the required agreement and disclosure. Providing factual information or assisting with forms may fall within this category when no judgment is exercised. Performing such tasks does not necessarily create an agency relationship. Question 3. Elena is assisting with a small apartment building transaction in Salisbury. Which principle applies when the facts involve an agreement with no legal effect from the beginning? Option A, unenforceable contract. Option B, executed contract. Option C, void contract. Option D, offer. The correct answer is option C, void contract. Later approval ordinarily cannot cure an agreement that was never legally valid. This differs from a contract that is valid unless a protected party chooses to avoid it. No party can enforce an arrangement that lacks a fundamental legal requirement or has an illegal purpose. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. Which answer most accurately identifies the obligation to follow the principal's lawful instructions within the agency scope in a real estate transaction? Option A, confidentiality duty. Option B, customer. Option C, special agent. Option D, obedience duty. The correct answer is option D, obedience duty. The brokerage agreement defines the limits of authority. Illegal or unethical instructions must not be followed. An agent must carry out authorized directions even when another approach seems more profitable. Question 5. A question arising during pre-listing meeting concerns direct knowledge of a fact or claim affecting property. Which choice gives the best classification? Option A, actual notice. Option B, reasonable modification. Option C, price fixing. Option D, quiet title action. The correct answer is option A, actual notice. The information may come from documents, statements, observation, or personal awareness. A person with direct knowledge cannot rely on failure to record as though the issue were unknown. Both direct and record-based notice can affect purchaser rights. Question 6. While analyzing a cooperative unit, Victor must apply the concept involving federal disclosure duties for most residential property built before 1978. Which answer should be selected? Option A, market allocation. Option B, lead-based paint disclosure. Option C, price fixing. Option D, cloud on title. The correct answer is option B, lead-based paint disclosure. Purchase contracts generally include a lead warning statement and an opportunity for qualifying buyers to conduct a risk assessment or inspection. Sellers and landlords must provide required information, available records, and the federal hazard pamphlet. The rule does not require the owner to remove all lead before transfer. Question 7. Which real estate term is defined by coordinated refusal by competitors to deal with a person or business? Option A, special warranty deed. Option B, underground storage tank. Option C, group boycott. Option D, redlining. The correct answer is option C, group boycott. The conduct can unlawfully pressure the target and restrict market access. Collective punishment for discounting or innovation creates substantial antitrust exposure. Brokerages must make independent decisions about vendors and cooperation. Question 8. In a transaction involving a warehouse, which rule controls when there is a summarized history of recorded documents affecting a parcel? Option A, a time-in arrangement. Option B, cloud on title. Option C, recording. Option D, abstract of title. The correct answer is option D, abstract of title. It is not itself an insurance policy against undiscovered defects. The document identifies conveyances, liens, and other recorded matters in the chain of title. An attorney or title professional examines the information to evaluate marketability.
Are you looking for ATIT's actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access ATIT study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get ATIT's answer key today.
Question 9. A tenant asks about a transaction participant who receives services but is not represented as a client. Which answer provides the legally accurate concept? Option A, customer. Option B, reasonable care. Option C, procuring cause. Option D, implied agency. The correct answer is option A, customer. The person should not assume confidential advice or negotiation advocacy is being provided. Agency disclosures help distinguish this role from represented status. The licensee must act honestly and disclose material facts but does not owe undivided loyalty. Question 10. Daria encounters federal and state rules protecting competition from agreements that restrain trade during a buyer consultation. Which principle should guide the analysis? Option A, quiet title action. Option B, antitrust law. Option C, radon. Option D, time-minus in arrangement. The correct answer is option B, antitrust law. Industry custom is not a defense to coordinated conduct. Competitors cannot agree to divide markets, boycott firms, or fix prices. Brokerages must independently set commission rates, fees, and business policies. Question 11. Which choice best matches the description denying or limiting lending or related services in geographic areas associated with protected groups? Option A, CERCLA. Option B, reasonable modification. Option C, redlining. Option D, environmental site assessment. The correct answer is option C, redlining. The practice concerns unequal access to credit and financial services. Underwriting decisions must rely on legitimate risk factors rather than neighborhood demographics. Mapping or coding practices can create evidence of discriminatory treatment. Question 12. During review of an office building in Colombia, the parties discuss one agent or brokerage representative acting for both sides in the same transaction with required informed consent. Which term applies? Option A, general agent. Option B, reasonable care. Option C, obedience duty. Option D, dual agent. The correct answer is option D, dual agent. The agent must remain neutral on confidential matters and comply with state-specific authorization rules. The arrangement creates inherent conflicts because the parties' bargaining interests may differ. Without valid consent, representing both sides can violate agency law. Question 13. An exam scenario presents inducing owners to sell by suggesting protected groups are moving into the area and property values will decline. Which answer is most accurate? Option A, blockbusting. Option B, environmental site assessment. Option C, underground storage tank. Option D, cloud on title. The correct answer is option A, blockbusting. The conduct exploits fear and discriminatory assumptions for transaction activity. Marketing should never use protected-class change as a reason to buy or sell. It is prohibited even if the licensee claims the statement reflects market opinion. Question 14. A licensee preparing for a marketing review must recognize insurance protecting against covered title defects that existed before the policy date. Which concept does this describe? Option A, Megan's Law Notice. Option B, title insurance. Option C, quitclaim deed. Option D, a Fair Housing Act. The correct answer is option B, title insurance. The policy does not guarantee the property's physical condition or future market value. An owner policy protects the buyer's interest, while a lender policy protects the mortgagee. Coverage depends on policy terms, exclusions, and exceptions shown in the commitment. Question 15. Which answer correctly classifies a situation involving an agreement with one or more material obligations still to be performed? Option A, option contract. Option B, consideration. Option C, executory contract. Option D, bilateral contract. The correct answer is option C, executory contract. The contract may be fully signed even though performance is incomplete. Contingencies and deadlines continue to govern the parties. A pending sales contract remains in this status until closing duties are completed or the agreement ends. Question 16. At a lease negotiation in Ann Arbor, Malik explains directing housing consumers toward or away from areas based on protected characteristics. Which real estate principle is involved? Option A, abstract of title. Option B, recording. Option C, Fair Housing Act. Option D is steering. The correct answer is option D, steering. Licensees should provide objective property and community information based on the client's stated criteria. Comments about neighborhood composition or where a family would fit can create violations. The practice restricts consumer choice and perpetuates segregation. Question 17. A transaction file for a subdivision lot raises an issue involving a relationship created when a principal later approves an act performed without prior authority. Which answer best resolves the classification? Option A, agency by ratification. Option B, seller's agent. Option C, customer. Option D, ministerial act. The correct answer is option A, agency by ratification. The approval treats the authorized result as though authority existed at the time of the act. The principal must know the material facts and accept the benefit or conduct. Ratification cannot validate an illegal act. Question 18. Which concept should a listing broker apply to facts involving a contract condition allowing performance obligations to depend on a specified event? Option A, executory contract. Option B, contingency. Option C, counteroffer. Option D, acceptance. The correct answer is option B, contingency. The party benefiting from the provision must comply with notice and deadline requirements. Financing, appraisal, inspection, and sale minus property conditions allocate transaction risk. Failure of the condition can permit termination if the clause is properly invoked. Stressed about your real estate? We can take real estate for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. Farah is studying a rule concerning the federal law requiring accessibility and non-discrimination in covered public accommodations and commercial facilities. Which term should be chosen? Option A, abstract of title. Option B, general warranty deed. Option C, Americans with Disabilities Act. Option D, lead-based paint disclosure. The correct answer is option C, Americans with Disabilities Act. Brokerage offices open to the public may need reasonable access and communication accommodations. Building age and scope of alteration affect technical accessibility requirements. The law is separate from housing-specific reasonable accommodation and modification duties. Question 20. When a condominium unit transaction involves a high duty of loyalty, care, disclosure, obedience, accounting, and confidentiality owed by an agent to a client, which answer identifies the controlling concept? Option A, confidentiality duty. Option B, express agency. Option C, general agent. Option D, fiduciary duty. The correct answer is option D, fiduciary duty. The duty does not permit illegal instructions or dishonesty toward other parties. The agent must place the client's lawful interests above personal gain within the scope of the relationship. Material information must be communicated while confidential negotiating information remains protected. Question 21. A practice question describes an agreement in which all parties have completed their promised performance. Which response is best? Option A, executed contract. Option B, consideration. Option C, counteroffer. Option D, unenforceable contract. The correct answer is option A, executed contract. The term describes performance status rather than the presence of signatures. A signed purchase contract awaiting closing is usually still executory. No material contractual duties remain outstanding after full performance. Question 22. During a buyer consultation, which principle is illustrated by a listing allowing the owner to avoid brokerage compensation by personally finding the buyer? Option A, open listing. Option B, exclusive agency listing. Option C, property management agreement. Option D, a consideration. The correct answer is option B, exclusive agency listing. The exact result depends on the written agreement and procuring minus cause terms. The owner retains a limited right to sell without owing the agreed fee. The broker earns compensation when the broker or another broker produces the buyer. Question 23. Which answer states the concept associated with a contract transferring possession and use for a term while the owner retains title? Option A, option contract. Option B, executory contract. Option C, lease. Option D, unilateral contract. The correct answer is option C, lease. The tenant receives of the rental agreement hold interest and owes duties stated in the agreement and law. Rent, duration, maintenance, and permitted use are central terms. The document does not convey fee ownership to the occupant. Question 24. A closing agent handling a townhouse in Novi must identify conditioning the purchase of one service on the buyer also obtaining a separate service. Which choice is correct? Option A, Radon. Option B, Circla. Option C, Megan's Law Notice. Option D, time minus in arrangement. The correct answer is option D, time minus in arrangement. Required use of an affiliated service should be reviewed under settlement minus service and antitrust rules. The practice can restrict consumer choice and competition when market power and other legal elements are present. Voluntary bundled offerings must be disclosed accurately. Question 25. During a financing review for a vacant parcel in East Lansing, Owen needs to identify the rule described as a non-exclusive arrangement allowing multiple brokers to seek a buyer, with compensation generally owed to the successful procuring broker. Which answer applies? Option A, open listing. Option B, unenforceable contract. Option C, assignment. Option D, unilateral contract. The correct answer is option A, open listing. The owner may also retain the right to sell independently without paying a broker. Clear documentation is important because competing efforts can create compensation disputes. No single broker receives exclusive marketing authority.